osvojio ATP turnir u Atini nakon što je u finalu pobjedio Lorenza Musetija nakon preokreta 2-1 u setovima i tako došao do 101. titule u karijeri. Poštovani gledalci, toliko u sportskom bloku, hvala na pažnji.
Koja je ovo a federalna, vidim ovu nisam nikad vidio.
Udahni intenzivan miris Oil Fragrance Therapy sa tehnologijom parfumskih ulja. Uzmi pauzu tokom dana. Udahni prepoznani miris koji ostaje s tobom sve do kraja dana. Lemon Fragrance Therapy.
Ako je, cudarnici. Ovdje vidite, ti budete polazili.
Vidite ova sama li? Stavio sam. Sad bi god stavio.
Ko je?
Ova ovdje. A sad stavio.
Kada? Violeta, najprekrasnije želje svijeta. Evo, i tu to slušate. Sve ja pišem. Evo, vidim, ne znam po mene. Hello. Hello. Oh, this is not good.
I need ammo. Oh, I'm doing so good. This was a good spot here. English only, please. Oh my god. This spot is crazy. Oh, where was he? He was here. Low ammo. Bro, my best game I would say so far. Is he dead? Kills. This guy had 66 assists. What? Bro, zašto neće da umre? Znači lik neće da umre. I ona da kod je upaljena. Ja sad isto... Metal fork, gdje si? Zašto nije umro od bombe? Nije ništa, kod tebe. Vidio. O da. Evo nije loš. Šta radi? Šta radi? Jesi me... Jel imaš TikTok? Jesi me vidio na TikTok? Ali ova je čora. Čora. Ma nema veze. Nakupit. Dođe iza leđa. No, viš šta gore. Onako. Ni najgore, ni najbolje. Nema municije više. Samo ovu sačmaricu. O. Wow. Ma ne igram sa ništa, malo ovu igricu igram i to je to. Ništa posebno. What? Mislim... Ne šanse da se to proživio, vidi ovo. Ma moraš tu biti, moraš biti ono popularan. Nije bitno baš kako igraš. I ovaj lik, tu ne bi. O, šta je? Oh my god. Vidimo se.
Dođemo.
Ma ne bi me časiš.
Šta?
Ne bi me časiš. Tamo ide. A ne.
Nije to zbog nas.
Nije.
A kako ona zna?
Kako zna? Da vrni. Ajmo.
Pa ajte malo, ne mogu šta cijeli krug.
Ja. Možemo. Uj.
Ja bi zabrešla tu stavim u kesu.
Gdje?
Pa stavim u kesu tu, baš mu to ne trebalo na smeće. Izbaci.
Bitte Gordon like GG. Ja. Jette. Gordon. Live. This is Stjepix. Pozdrav Stjepix. Čekaj. Previše vremena je prošlo kad nisam bio od Dexija. Točno 2 minute. Ne možeš tako.
Svakog dana video ide, već godinama nikada da stane, uljepšava nam dane i nikad nemoj da stane. Taj hype, ta sreća kad upalimo video. Dex, znaj da svi nose s video. Dex, jede mi se keks. Jafa, dok je najbolja čokolada. Dex, jede mi keks. Jafa, dok je najbolja čokolada. Dex.
Bebo, opet pilići, pa zar još uvijek ne spavaš? Sada će tebe tvoja mamica da uspava. Treba mi pomoć.
Šta je sad bilo?
Treba da uspavamo dete.
Zar već?
Da.
Evo me stižem.
Mama voli bebu, najviše na sve.
Can be some of the most fun you can have making videos on YouTube.
Fortunately, it can be so fun that it's also one of the most competitive spaces across the entire website. My goal is to help you this year avoid a lot of the early mistakes that I made when I started my gaming channel. And I did make one of these videos last year, and I didn't want to focus on generic tips, but rather the things that were working and also not working for gaming channels. I'm mentioning it here because I think all of that information is still relevant today, but there is an entire side of the discussion we just simply didn't have time to get to, and that's what I'm here to do now. You see, to stand out on YouTube, you might feel like you have to reinvent the wheel completely and do something that nobody has ever attempted before. And yeah, if you nail it, that can be fantastic for you, but it's also not a realistic place to start a channel from. But you might also think, well, certainly nobody's going to watch me play through some game and just chat my way through it Let's Play style. That's been done a billion times. And sure, with that attitude, I guess nobody's going to notice, but that's also not a great headspace to be in. I don't think any negative aspect of what a gaming channel should look like is going to get you very far. I want you to build a channel that you are proud of. Something that fits your personality, your goals, your interests, and your day-to-day life schedule. So to build that this year, I'm going to break this video up into a few parts. First, we're going to talk about what modern gaming channels need, in my opinion, in order to attract new viewers. And we're going to use examples. Since that section will sound like a whole bunch of rules and regulations, the next section is going to help you maybe break some of those rules in a healthy way. Because personally, I believe that no two YouTube channels have followed the same exact playbook as another one to get where they are today. In the final section, you'll hear from a creator who's been doing this for a long time, has over 5 million subscribers, and has built the type of gaming channel that I think so many of you want for yourselves. I asked him a bunch of questions that gaming creators are always asking us, and I think you'll find his perspective very valuable. So, section 1. What does a modern gaming channel need to grow on YouTube this day and age? Well, they need like 1,000 things, but we don't have that kind of time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that channels need a novelty or a through line. What exactly do I mean by that? Think of it as like a gimmick, but in a good way. I think every channel on YouTube really needs a hallmark, something that makes their channel unique. This was one thing I talked about a lot last year, so I don't want to repeat myself too much, but some of the examples I gave back then were that you cover news topics on your channel, or you have a special skill like speedrunning. Maybe you review games. You're an expert at one particular game. Or maybe you're like the Spiffing Brit and you break games. You 100% complete games, you know, things like that. Let's look at our first example today. Somebody who I believe has a really solid gimmick, but it took them years to nail it down. The channel is called Any Austin, and they started on YouTube about 11 years ago. But you might recognize some of the more recent videos because the last year or two have been incredibly successful for them. What you'll notice right away is that in the latest videos, Any Austin is covering a lot of different games. But what I love about this example is that you probably picked up on the gimmick I mentioned pretty quickly as well. While Any Austin started out doing what I would call Let's Plays and like typical gaming content early on, nowadays the channel looks a lot different, and they cover games from a new perspective. Do Grand Theft Auto 5's power lines connect to anything? Where do Hyrule's rivers go? What is Windhelm's unemployment rate? Where did Fallout 3's bombs actually hit? To the people who play the games in this video, all of the titles here raise really interesting questions, and also questions you don't need the answer to in order to actually play through the game. If you know, you know. When you see these videos pop up about a game you recognize, you can tell there's some needless experimentation going on here. Why does someone need to run around Los Santos and follow the power lines and figure out exactly where they lead? They don't. It's just funny. Any Austin does this again and again, video after video. They've created a niche for themselves, not by playing one game, but by narrowing the focus and creating a theme across their entire channel. As we can see, this channel started doing this type of content just a couple years ago. I do not think something like this happens by pure luck. I think this kind of success comes from having a really strong interest in the content that you're making. That is to say, I think Austin here is way more interested in sharing fun experiments and observations that they've made, and a lot less interested in the idea of becoming a big YouTuber. Because nobody wakes up one day and starts to search YouTube for the next big YouTuber. They're going onto YouTube to search for the answer to a specific question. Or if a video served to them and they click, it's because it provoked an interesting thought, or it was fun. So when I say a channel needs a gimmick or a through line, I think Austin is the perfect demonstration of this. But the other thing this creator is doing very well is I think they have a very solid idea of who they are. They understand themselves. Now that might sound a little bit weird, but just hear me out for a second. When you sit down and watch a creator like Any Austin, what do you see? Let's watch like the intro of this video just to get a quick idea.
Right behind me is a building from the hit 2013 video game Grand Theft Auto 5. On the side of the building is a small device with a wire sticking out of it. That wire comes out of the building and connects to this.
I see somebody who's comfortable in front of the camera, understands what they're talking about, and is genuinely interested in the topic of the video. Notice that the focus of that intro wasn't to tell us about how many subscribers Any Austin is hoping to have by next month. Austin has prepared an in-depth look at something in a game, and despite it being very funny, they are taking it incredibly seriously. So to have this type of delivery in front of the camera, I think you need to be comfortable in your own skin. If you couldn't tell, I'm a little bit envious of what Austin has going on here. I think channels like this come across really natural. And if I wanted to make a video like this, I feel like I'd need more practice first. I have to hone this skill of talking to a piece of glass because it's inherently awkward to sit in a room alone and talk to a camera. Whatever it is you're trying to do on your YouTube channel, give yourself time. And that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about before moving on to the next section. And that is I think every single creator on YouTube needs to give themselves the space to stop worrying about things like subscribers and views. I already touched on this a little bit, but I want to be super clear. Viewers, aka real human people, do not care about how many subscribers you have. They don't care about how many views your video got, and if they do, you really want them watching anyway. What they should be caring about is what's right in front of them, and that's the title and the thumbnail, and the promise of what that video is about. And they care about getting that promise delivered upon when they click on the video. But you're not stupid. I mean, you watch YouTube just like I do, and you know what you want when you click on a video. You know how it feels to get into a video and have it not start the way you expected it to start. So me saying all of this should feel pretty obvious, but from personal experience, I watch a lot of videos from a lot of creators, and if I click on a video, or more likely add it to my watch later playlist, and then I go back to watch it, I cannot stand it when it doesn't deliver on what I clicked on. It happens all the time. A video starts, and in the intro, the person's saying, "Hey, welcome back to my channel. By the way, before we get into it, I just want to let you know that we just hit 570 subscribers, everybody. That's like 30 more subscribers than the last video. So hey, listen, I don't care. Let me learn more about you and your community over time, slowly, as I watch more and more of your awesome videos. Save all that community-centered chatter for the end of the video. That's what big YouTubers do all the time. When I get finished watching a Curtis Connor video, he invites me to subscribe so I can become a member of Curtis Town. If he did that at the very beginning of a video, I find that kind of annoying, but because he saves it to the end, and I made it to the end, I'm more likely to dig out my little passport and hit the subscribe button so I can move in to Curtis Town as fast as possible. If you care about subscribers, that is the best time to ask people to subscribe. At the end of the video, when they've just sat through the entire thing. That means they probably enjoyed it. But I'm not just even talking about subscribers, and I don't even know if you should be asking people to subscribe. You shouldn't be focused on all the numbers all the time. The views, the likes, the comments, all of it. Just give yourself a bit here. I'm harping on this because I just want you to make good videos. I want you to focus on that because I see this mistake made so many times amongst new creators and creators struggling to grow. My last video got less impressions. Am I cooked? Does YouTube hate me? Oh, I only have 12 subscribers. I must be doing something wrong. If this sounds like you, the brutal, honest truth is, I believe, in my opinion, you are way too focused on the idea of being a YouTuber and not focused enough on what makes a YouTuber. It's the content. I know you want subscribers. I know you want views because you're here posting videos. Make good stuff. Earn that over time. You can earn the views and earn subscribers by making good content. Anyway, now that I've explained what a channel needs to do to grow, it's time for section 2. Not one size fits all on YouTube. What I've done is I've laid out a whole bunch of advice that might sound a lot like a list of rules, a definitive list that you absolutely have to follow in order to be successful. The truth is, though, you can do whatever you want on YouTube, as long as you obey the law and YouTube's guidelines. You can do whatever you want. You can take as long as you want until you get it right. But wait, what about having a specific niche or a gimmick? Can you really do whatever you want? At this point, we have hundreds of videos that go into niche, so I'm not going to do a deep dive here, but yes, niche is important. But there are two things that let you kind of break the niche rule on YouTube. Number one is that you need to focus on experimenting too throughout your entire time on YouTube. You can't just stay stuck doing the same thing forever because, well, I chose this niche and this really narrow focus. That's certainly not how Any Austin has become successful, and that's not how Froggy Crossing has become successful. She recently hit 1 million subscribers. She started out specifically focused on gaming, and lately she's managed to branch out that focus into other topics that her audience is resonating with. One look at her channel, you might think, oh, well, this is a lifestyle creator. But no, she started out playing games, and in fact, to this day, she still plays games and does streams of video games that she enjoys. She's found a way to make content that is relevant to a specific type of person, a person who likes the game she's playing, and a person who also likes the different things she's going out and doing outside of gaming. And that brings me to number 2. A niche can look like a lot of different things. It's not about a specific type of game. It's about a specific type of person that you're making content for. But again, I went all out on niche in the last video. I'll make sure to link that down below. But for now, let's get into the other rules of YouTube that might feel really restrictive for small channels. Real success on YouTube stems from building a channel around your specific situation and your personal interests, as I've said before. Now, this includes a lot of things, and I've mentioned the type of things you talk about on your channel. I also want to focus on the physical type of content that you're putting onto the website itself. Do you see yourself posting only videos or shorts or live streams or some combination thereof? Each one of those buckets kind of has its own set of strategies and tactics if you want to be successful. One set of rules doesn't necessarily equal growth for all of the different ways you can make content on YouTube. Like, one thing that you could use to determine your specific strategy for your channel is your daily schedule. How much time are you setting aside every day, week, month for your YouTube channel? Should you be uploading videos daily? If you don't, will you be successful? Are you not posting enough? Well, one quick look at a couple of very popular creators could settle your stomach there. Let's take a look at Doug and RT Game, 2 massive channels, similar in size, but have different upload schedules. Doug is uploading once a week, sometimes once a month. Meanwhile, RT Game posts multiple times a week quite frequently. By anyone's measure, both of these channels look incredibly successful, so you need to be focused on making content that fits into the very specific U-shaped box that is your life. But let's try a hypothetical example. Let's say you're about to start a gaming news channel, okay? And that means you're going to be focused on really up-to-date trending topics. However, you also have a day job, and oftentimes you find that your videos are coming out late because the news drops at the beginning of your shift and you don't get to it until 7 p.m. at night after you get home from work. Now, somehow, you have to understand the day's news, record a video, edit the thing, thumbnail it, and get it posted, all before bed, because you do not want to be any more late to the party than you already are. In that particular case, what could a creator do in order to cover trending topics, but also get to bed at a decent hour? Well, if this person were asking for my advice, I would tell them to consider live streaming. I would say that they could be on their stream and they could pull up the news in real time and react to it. Or they could read the news, understand it, and then go live. But either way, they can take some time to be live and then not have to edit a video afterwards. If they live stream frequently and they get decent concurrent viewer numbers, the chat might actually offer some really interesting perspectives. And then you could take those conversations and you could turn those into YouTube shorts to help grow this live streaming empire you're building. Now, yes, a video does typically get more traction than, say, a concluded live stream. But in this case, old news is old news. So whether it's a video or a live stream, doesn't really matter. You need to jump on this topic. And news aside, and quick side note, I've seen live streams that can get traction after the fact, after they're done being live, just like a video. If they have good titles, thumbnails, and a good conversation, those can spread far and wide. Each type of content is going to have its own best practices when it comes to growing. Live streaming is a totally different practice from just uploading videos. So I want to go over like the general tactics of what it means to make each type of content. Videos can show up in search and the home feed. So for them, you're really going to want to focus on having a good title, a good thumbnail, and a solid hook. For shorts, most of them don't appear on the home feed. In fact, most people find your short while they're scrolling through shorts. So title isn't important anymore. We're talking about the
a little closer.
Let's end this thing right now.
You'll go.
Time to die. You shouldn't hurt yourself like that.
You can still speak.
I can do more than that.
Chow time, sweetie. A little closer.
Let's end this thing.
Hook now. Like the first 3 seconds needs to be really, really solid. Unless you're doing a search-based short. Maybe your short answers a specific question. Then oops, title matters here too. If you want to be a live streaming only channel, you really do need to leverage other types of content. I actually can't think of a single successful live stream only channel They're always posting something else somewhere else. Streamers will cut down long live streams into more bite-sized videos and post them on their YouTube channels, or they'll have multiple YouTube channels. Some for live stream VODs, some for clips, and some for videos that were recorded off stream. If you find yourself doing some combination of these content types, a lot of people do that, and that can work too, but it also increases your overall workload. As I'm running through all these examples, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, no, that's not right. I've actually seen a channel who's done it this way that he's saying wouldn't work. There are just too many channels on this website where you won't find some exception to some rule that someone has touted in one of these videos. And that's what I want to talk about before we get into the last section. I want to talk about YouTube growth videos themselves, because I don't think this will be the last video you ever watch on how to grow a YouTube channel, right? I've been doing this long enough now.
Just saying, we gotta have this common thing. And I know we'll find a role. So we're doing this or what? Sorry, clutch stuck. Real subtle. Yeah, I'm gonna get pretty, aren't I?
To where I've seen creators who are YouTube growth creators say completely opposite things back to back. One creator will say, focus on this. Another creator says, focus on that. The thing is, both of them can be right at the same exact time, depending on the specific people they're talking to. So, this year, I want you to be flexible when it comes to YouTube advice. Be willing to try things that videos like this suggest, but also be willing to say to yourself, maybe that particular piece of advice isn't for me. Pick one thing to improve at a time and keep a positive attitude as you go through your YouTube journey. But okay, enough of that. Section 3. This one's a bit interesting. I got to talk to somebody who's been doing this for a long time. Maybe you've heard of them, or maybe you haven't, because there's like a lot of famous gaming creators at this point. Before we dive in though, I have a quick question for you. What is your goal with your YouTube channel? And I don't mean how many subscribers do you want. Do you want this to be a business one day, or are you just looking for a fun, successful hobby? And what kind of content do you want to make? Keep those goals in mind going forward. Try to figure out that answer for yourself before going any further on YouTube, because you need to prioritize enjoying what you're doing. The creator I spoke to is really aspirational for me because they do enjoy what they're doing quite a lot. And they've been at it for over a decade. And they have the kind of channel that I think so many gaming creators want to build for themselves. He's the kind of creator who finds a new game, he sits down and he does his commentary as he plays it all the way through, releasing an entire series over the course of several days, weeks, or months along the way. The channel is called Zach's Got Games, and I asked Zach a lot of questions that creators come to us with all the time, and he had really awesome insights to share. I'm going to share just bits of this interview with you, but if you enjoy it, let us know, because I might be able to release the whole thing at some point in the future.
In terms of the games you select for your channel, like what's the criteria? You know, how do you know this is a game that is definitely something I'm going to record versus a game that you're just going to kind of keep for yourself?
I pretty much know by now that anything related to some of the games that have performed well in the past, like Plants vs. Zombies or any Nintendo games, are going to do better. Anything that has kind of a more friendly aesthetic seems to do better.
That's really interesting. Do you feel like your audience responds to a certain genre of game more than another?
I think that games that have kind of repetitive mechanics but maybe different outcomes are appealing. Some story games, you know, do well. I guess you would call Zelda kind of a story game, or even Mario is somewhat of a story game. But in general, it seems like people like to watch things that have a little bit of action, some level of repetitiveness, probably something that's just more approachable to general audiences.
I want to talk a little bit about the episodic nature of the content. It always feels like episode 1 is going to do fantastic. Episode 1 of anything, when you're speaking in the context of like a gaming series, tends to do really well. And then episode 2, bit of a drop. Episode 3, more of a drop. And it gets to a few episodes in before you kind of see that like point where it settles.
I think the landscape has changed, especially in kind of a post-COVID area. But yeah, in general now, and even back then, it was true that the first episode would do better, would perform better. And I think that's because, you know, a lot of people just kind of want to see what the game's about. They just want to kind of get a little bit of a sense of the game, but not necessarily stick around for the full game. And even as a viewer, that's kind of me. You know, I don't watch a lot of full gameplays. I'll definitely watch a trailer. I might watch a little bit of a gameplay myself. And, you know, if I'm really into it, then I might just want to play it myself. You know, I think the viewers who stick around for, you know, the longer term of the game, you know, down to the end of it, are people who are more there for the personality rather than just the game.
I'm curious as to, is there a strategy there? Like when should a video be 2 hours? When should a video be 20 minutes?
When I first started years ago, it seemed like all the creators were doing, and this is back before YouTube really allowed long videos, creators were doing 15 minutes and under for each episode. But then once we got access to longer and longer videos, I just kind of started gravitating to what kind of felt logical for that part of the game. For me, that often lands on, you know, anywhere from the 45-minute to an hour mark, or less if it's a more heavy action-based game, or even Plants vs. Zombies game. A game like Astrobot, if it's divided into sections, I try to just kind of stick to the section, because I feel like that communicates a decent part of the story. That's going to be what people are searching for.
If someone came up to you who was starting out today, they're working towards perhaps their first 1,000 subscribers, what advice would you have for them?
Honestly, I would probably tell them do shorts, because shorts seems like the quickest way to accrue subscribers right now on YouTube. Especially if you develop shorts specifically for being shorts. I've had a couple shorts bring in thousands of subscribers. Benefit that shorts have is that they show up in people's feeds, like it or not. It's just basically on the algorithm.
If it was more than that, because I mean, we do have a number of creators who are like, well, shorts, okay, I get it, it brings you subscribers. What if I do want to make this a job one day? Because you obviously have the ambition of being like a full-time YouTuber. If this got ripped out from underneath you, you had to start from zero, like today, what would be your strategy to kind of rebuild it back up to getting back to that full-time position?
In today's market, I mean, I don't know how much I would lean into Let's Play content. Let's Play content doesn't seem...
In this video, I'll go over 10 designer fragrances that offer channel. You could buy save you money. Any further performance, because with the disclosure out the way, number 1, Dior Sauvage Elixir. Easily one of the most powerful designer fragrances on the market. Brands fresh out the Oriental direct cardamom and nutmeg licorice note. This fragrance, the sampler perform still there. So number 1, Dior, the performance is still there. So number 1, Dior Sauvage, like Dior Sauvage, Versace performance. This takes that foundation, makes it richer and denser with the addition of blue fragrances. Tuscan leather, nuanced and addictive. So I don't do how you guys know that I prefer the Parfum. But when it comes to performance, mix it with the dry down of Dior Fahrenheit. I've Boss Bottled Absolute. One different direct for great value. One that in this fragrance performance for classic the earlier Rabanne Invictus Platinum. This is pretty much a modern day take on the original Invictus. It does have this got honey. This takes you core. Not saying that the absolute that does give it, wear this one as your signature scent, but when it comes to hot weather days, dial back. Go here is a great subscribe. Here's a code to save you money on your first order. If you're interested in buying,
seem to work as well as it used to. You know, because I look at like other creators who've been around like as long as me, or just even new people starting out. It doesn't seem like strictly Let's Plays are what people really do. They kind of try to create content around the video game to tell maybe a different story than what the game itself is telling. I would lean into a mixture of that and live streaming, because live streaming is a good way to build a community who's, I think, going to be there for you consistently. The one thing that's remained consistent across YouTube for years is consistency and you know, people just kind of doing it. Not necessarily, I don't mean like doing the same thing over and over, but sticking to a schedule, listen to what your viewers are saying, and look at your analytics and what's performing well.
Those are my big questions. I have some little ones from just our Discord server. How do you get such high quality images of characters close up for your thumbnails?
Oh, that's a great question. I like that question a lot because I do spend a lot of time on my thumbnails. So I take screenshots from the game. I try to take them from cutscenes. So that, you know, they're already pre-made to look at like an ideal angle. But if it's not a cutscene, I often run them through software that upscales. For some of the other things, it's just key art from the publisher themselves.
I think the most important thing about gaming thumbnail is making sure that, because it's IP that people are going to like recognize first and foremost. We all know there's been a billion changes to YouTube in the last decade or so, but like, what changes specifically do you feel like made things easier for you and or made things harder for you?
The easier one is hard to answer because I don't know that YouTube has gotten easier. I think the tools that they give you to create and publish videos is a little easier. They give you the A/B testing on thumbnails now, which is useful. But like, even if it's just...
As I mentioned before, there is so much advice.
Dior Savage eliksir je vrlo dobar. Dosta mijenja mišljenja o parfemima koji duže traju, koji dugo traju. A? Ne razumijem kad parfem traje 3 minute.
So the M39 EMR is an absolute puncher, ladies and gentlemen. What I have on it is going to be the lightened suppressor. I have the extended barrel on it. I have the vertical 6H64 grip on it. I got the 20-round mag.
Jel dosta? A? Lol. Nigdje je vezi. Ovo mi ne treba, znači treba mi samo... Čak ja mislim da može i 36. Čekaj. Ovo je 40. 36. Čak 36 dovoljno. No. Čak 30. Da, ne ićemo ovako. Zašto? S ovim gubi. Sad mogu staviti još 10, jel? Ne, kako? Bilo bi zanimljivo da ga pogodi. A jel moraš ti mene? Oh my god. To ništa. Nisam ni vidio. Double kill? Pa brate, ja moraš mene, znači... A eko... Što ih baca ovo nije mjesto? What? Brate, kako, aj nek mi neko objasni. Kako? Želim objašnjenje. Piece of shit. Kako me ubije u sekundi? Ja da njega ubijem 7 godina treba, to nešto nije u redu. Mrš. Oh! Brate. Motherfucker. Okay. Mother. Fuck. Kako sam to glupo igrao, znači kako sam to glupo igrao. Ma ja moraš i tu biti, bro. What? Ah! Victory? What? Ja se sam da gubimo. Pa koliko je slabija od onih? Dok završiš cijeli red... A s ovom možeš... Ovo je, nije baš najbolji zašto. Jesam ti ono. Ma... Ne, igram bez veze, igram glupo.